Hello my wonderful subscribers, this is Lay Morbid Artist speaking, and welcome to my 6th sketchbook review. This one will be featuring August, September, and October, so 3 months. More so October because it was my first time ever doing Inktober, which is why it's over here. I wanted to do them separate, and you'll see why in a minute. Let's look at August and September. I really didn't do a lot during those 2 months. Let me flip through and find it. Alright, let's start off with August. I thought I'd go simple with the evolutions. Go with Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, and of course little baby Eevee there, all together as like one big family. It was really cute and I just had to draw angsty, kind of depressed Amethyst. That's just what I had to do. I'm going to take this out of here real quick. If you all were wondering, I actually use pieces of paper in between the pages as I'm coloring. Perfect example. If we turn the page, as I'm coloring this page, I don't accidentally rub all the art supplies from this page onto the other and ruin the sketch over here. So that's what I do, if that makes any sense. I wanted to do some fish Pokemon. I love Goldeen and Magikarp, kind of like this dorky fish that no one really wants to hang out with until he gets older and he becomes Gyarados. So it was more of like, she's surrounded by a bunch of idiots. Just hold on there, Goldeen, because one day one of these idiots is going to turn into a Gyarados and you might want to hang out with them then, you know? And then this one over here is Pikachu and Raichu. My younger brother really wanted me to draw these two. I don't know, he wanted me to draw that. So I did. Next up, Stardonix is probably my favorite fusion from Steven Universe, and I just watched the episode where, spoilers, Steven and Amethyst fuse. I just had to draw her. And then here is R2-D2. I drew this when the actor who had been portraying R2-D2 for years had died, and I was pretty bummed just because, I mean, he's a part of movie history and he died. But I didn't actually finish it. I feel like just leaving it there is just a nice remembrance, at least for me when I look back at this. His name was Kenny Baker. Kenny Baker died, and he portrayed R2-D2. He was 81 years old, and I just wanted to remember him that way. Next up, I asked on Tumblr any suggestions, just throw them out there for Pokemon. I wanted to just focus on Pokemon because they're bright, colorful, and somewhat easy for me to draw, especially since they're cartoony, and I've been doing a lot of live model drawings for school. So I just wanted a little break from that. My good friend, the Invisible Mare, suggested that I draw Onix and Steelix fighting together, you know? And I was like, oh sweet, I love Onix. I think he's really cool, way cooler than Steelix. Yeah, and I was able to sketch that before I went to class. But he was the only one who responded to me. So thank you, Invisible Mare. Love you, pal. And next up, I love Oddish and Gloom and Vileplume and Bellossom? Bellossom? I don't know how to say that right. I think the evolution for them are so cute, and I finally was able to get my Gloom in Pokemon Go, working towards my Vileplume. Moving on. And here we have the last drawing I did in September before October. I was gearing up for Inktober and figure out, okay, how am I going to do this? I'm only going to use ink. So I decided what better way to start the spooky month than draw Princess Luna fighting Nightmare Moon, but it's more like her inner demons, Nightmare Moon. Okay. And if you were wondering what Inktober was, let me get my Inktober sketchbook and I'll explain it all. Now to get to the most exciting part of the sketchbook challenge, my first ever Inktober participation. Now for those who don't know, Inktober was created as a 31-day challenge during the month of October, and it was started by Jake Parker, and his goal was to get more familiar with the medium of inks and to get better with his penmanship. And by pen, I mean using like the quill and the nibs. See? And what started off as just an experiment for himself became a social media phenomenon, or I guess it could be considered a phenomenon. It's gotten bigger over the years, and more people are becoming aware of it, and he has his own website. I'll put the link in the description below. But it's basically 31 days, and there's an official prompt list that you can go off of if it's your first time doing it, or if you feel like you won't have enough material for the full 31 days. I originally thought you could only use ink, and it had to be black and white. And I'm like, crap, I can't do it because ink is expensive, and basically I need to live. So, do I want to live, or do I want to do Inktober? Well, then I found out that's not the case. You can use ballpoint pen as long as it's ink. It's considered Inktober. So, what I did is I went out and I bought some Papermate pens in all these different colors. So I was like, yes, I can do Inktober. And I have all these colors. I mean, look at it. Anyway, I used pens for my ink. And the only way it's considered not an Inktober is if it's just like a pencil sketch. If you do a pencil sketch and you're like, I did Inktober, I'm sorry, sweetie, but you didn't. Instead of using the prompt list, the official prompt list, I went ahead in my composition book, and I've recently found that sketching out ideas in this is way better than trying to like sketch out ideas in a art book, because if it's in an art book, I feel like I have to finish the product. Whereas if it's in a composition book, I can just kind of do whatever, and I won't worry about the end results. And then another thought occurred to me is I've always doodled on my homework and schoolwork, and this reminds me of that mentally, so I'm just freely just throwing stuff on the page. Like, I really wanted to do Inktober, so I thought of some ideas, and I used some of these. I didn't use all of them. At the end of September, I sat down and I was like, okay, I need to really think out what I want to do for Inktober because I don't want to use the list. So here's a few preliminary sketches, I think that's what it's called. And yeah, and here's me testing out the Inkjoy. Now enough of this. You don't want to hear about this. This is more of like the process of Inktober. Now let's get to Inktober itself. So October 1st. I thought I would start off the month with Pinkamena Diane Pie. I would like to think that Pinkie Pie really enjoys Halloween, because Halloween is my favorite holiday. It is what I live and breathe for. When it's over, I'm pretty sad. And she would get super into it and be almost scary into Halloween, you know? So I thought, what better way than to start with her and with ponies, and almost like the creepypasta to cupcakes, you know? But in a friendly manner, because see the pumpkin smiling, and I mean there's guts and seeds everywhere. Like for the background I used like this. This is India ink. It's archival ink, but it's basically India ink. That for the background. And I tried to use only pens. Like I used my Inkjoy pens and some other pens that I had. But I was like, the brown is just too white, so I caved in early. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use a colored pencil. And I was like, oh shoot, I've already failed Inktober. But when I was posting, I realized that a lot of people use more than just ink in their Inktober. As long as like, or I should say like 90% of it is ink, then it's still considered Inktober. So I was like, yes, I can do this. But yeah, I just, that was day one. Now on to day two. Okay, now day two, I did Kylo Ren and Darth Vader, like split down the middle. Kylo Ren wants to be like Darth Vader, so it's like they're one. Like they are one character. I actually pulled out my watercolors for the background because I used pen, my ink pen, I had used colored pencil and crayon, and I'm like, oh no, I can't just leave the background white. It looked too weird with just a white background. So I actually pulled out my watercolors. For each day I took a picture of the finished product and then the finished product with everything I used to the side of it. If you're really interested in what I used for each day, check out my Tumblr, and they're all there. So I'm gonna kind of stop talking about what I used with it. I'm just gonna talk about it. Because there's 31 drawings in here. A whole month's worth, so let's keep going. Ooh, okay, this is like one of my favorite pieces. Oh, this is the original Pokemon Ghost Trio. The only Pokemon Ghosts, I believe, in the first generation. And it's Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar. And if you played Pokemon Go, then you knew about these guys already. I really wanted to focus on using my pens for this one especially. Because it would have been really easy just to like outline in pen and then color in completely with markers and stuff, but I really wanted to get the feel, and I think it got creepier with the pen use. I really do actually like the way that the crayon in the background makes it look like it's spooky. I did something I used to do a lot, is outline the characters in black, and I kind of stopped doing that, but I don't know, I think it works for this piece at least. I know, now it's time to turn the page. Turning to day 4. Okay, going back. Well, when I was thinking of Inktober, I thought, okay, I want to do a vampire. And I was like, okay, think of mainstream vampires. I don't want to do like just Dracula. So I'm like, oh, of course, Adventure Time. Marceline the Vampire Queen. I was like, sweet, I'll do Marceline. Yeah, there's Marceline the Vampire Queen, and she has a little strawberry. Yeah, I kind of wish I was able to get more dimension in the hair. I don't know, it seems really flat and like it's all one piece. I really tried with white pencil, some highlights in there, but it just did not work. And I could have made the bats gray or black, but instead I chose to make them brown, just so that way they would stand out. Moving on. This one I really like too. Like, this is probably the more Halloween-y one of them all. I actually used a reference photo for this one, and the reference photo was of actor Doug Jones's picture he posted on social media, him reaching for coffee because he was so dead tired after filming on The Shape of Water. And if you don't know him, he is a very famous character actor. He is known for his acting in full makeup, full prosthetics. He brings characters to life, both spooky and not so spooky. Actor of Abe, the fish guy in Hellboy. So I used the reference photo here of him reaching for the coffee. And yeah, it's kind of showing up. He posted it to Tumblr and Instagram, and since I'm on Tumblr, I saw it and I was like, yes, I'm going to use it. It's perfect for my Inktober, because I really wanted to do a zombie. And it came to me like I wished for it from the gods. So thank you, Doug Jones, for posting that. And moving on. Day 6, I was feeling sick. I just had to do something. I had to, because I'm like, okay, it's only day 6. I need to keep going. And I was rushing because I also had homework to do. So I was like, okay, what can I do? Pokemon. Pokemon is a great escape for when you don't know what to do, because they're so colorful. And there's Pumpkaboo! Pumpkaboo is adorable. And there's Pumpkaboo and Chandelure. Love them. Okay, I love them so much. And but yeah, it was adorable. Adorable. Moving on. Okay. This right here. This is beautiful. Okay, it's Lapis and Peridot with a pumpkin puppy. Okay, I was so happy when I saw this, because one, it was like a gift again from the gods. There was a pumpkin, a sentient pumpkin that was a puppy on Steven Universe. And it just so happens that Peridot is like my daughter. I officially adopted her. She's awkward and nerdy, and now she's my daughter. Anyway, the clip of Gem Harvest came out, I saw the clip and I was like, oh my god, I know what I want to do, because Lapis and Peridot were on my list. They're on my list of things to do for Inktober. I'm not kidding. Let me find it. See, they're right here. Lapis and Peridot. But I wasn't really feeling doing all the detail for my original concept, so when I saw this I was like, yes! Thank you, oh my god, and it's a pumpkin puppy. All I wanna do is own my very own pumpkin puppy. All I wanna do is spend some time with you, my pumpkin puppy. I would love that pumpkin puppy to death. It would be a huge gourd, like by the time I was done with it. I would take it everywhere with me, and I would shelter it from the cruel aspects of our human nature of turning it into pumpkin pies and people making jack-o'-lanterns. But yeah, I would try to explain to it, because I have a bunch of fake pumpkins. I would try to explain to it that we have fake skeletons around us, and that's the reason why there are fake pumpkins everywhere. Because it's scary and it's part of the season. But yeah, I would try to shelter it as much as possible, because I just love it so much. I love it. I love it. I want a pumpkin puppy. Like, if anyone knows, anyone out there that sews and makes plushes, I will pay. I can't pay now, but I will pay in the future for a pumpkin puppy. Like, I want one. Anyway, enough about pumpkin puppy. We have 31 days of Inktober, so let's keep going. Okay, again, Pokemon is going to be throughout this because they're adorable, and get over it. I decided to do the shiny version of Duskull, and if I'm not saying these right, I'm sorry, but these aren't the generations that I grew up with. So the shiny version of Duskull, because I wanted to do some red and make it vibrant and colorful, and just the normal version of Litwick, because I think he's so cute. He's got like little emo candle drippings, candle hair drippings over its eye. It's so cute. And the shiny is attracted to shiny, bright things. So he's just like, ooh, so pretty, must touch the candle light. Okay, that sounded way creepier than what I planned, but yeah, that's basically what it was. And I really just wanted an excuse to draw a little Grim Reaper skull ghost thing. Yeah, that's very cute. Originally, I had outlined it in my red pen, but I was having trouble seeing it, and I'm like, okay, it won't really show up on the picture if I don't do it. Outline it, so I decided to outline it in black last minute. Fun fact. Okay, next up, sister location for day 9. You didn't know, this is Baby, the clown animatronic, and I do not play Five Nights at Freddy's, but I watch people play because I have no time to play, and honestly, I don't think I have the game to play, like, I don't have the skills to pay the bills, if you get my drift, to play Five Nights at Freddy's. And okay, the first thing that came to mind was Don't Call Me Baby by Madison Avenue, and it's an old song from like the 90s, I think. I'm pretty sure it came out in the 90s. And like when I was drawing this, that song was in my head the whole time. It's like the main lyrics I thought of was this. Don't think that I'm not strong, I'm the one to take you on. Don't underestimate me, boy, I'll make you sorry you were born. You don't know me the way you really should. You sure misunderstood. Don't call me baby. Cause like throughout the game, she is helping you, and I'm not sure if it's really her or if it's another animatronic pretending to be her. I don't know if she's actually helping us or not. Game theorists haven't really figured it out, but she really tricked me. I thought she was gonna help us if it was her, and yeah, she didn't help us in the end. So basically, the lyrics are true. Don't underestimate her, and we don't know her like we really should. and we misunderstood. So we shouldn't just be calling her like baby, like, oh, baby's gonna help us. No, no, she's not. Okay, now moving on to day 10. I was having a really bad day, and not so much that I want to go into here. I don't feel like sharing too much, but basically it was terrible. So I was not mentally with it, so I thought, what better way than to draw a Discord board of chaos. I had already planned on doing Discord. I had not planned on doing baby. I had only put like Five Nights at Freddy's down in my notes, but I had planned on doing Discord, and I thought, okay, today's the day I'm going to do Discord, because I was just not mentally there. And his expression was basically mine that day. So yeah. Moving on. This was one of my favorite shows, and still one of my favorite shows of all time, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. And I had drawn something similar to this in high school, so I thought, okay, why not try to draw it again? I have to say I've improved a lot. That's a good thing. I love this show so much. I wish that kids had shows like this again, because it was so weird, so bizarre, and it was the first time in my life that I realized, oh my god, this show gets me. I am dark, and that's okay. I was a Catholic schoolgirl, so it was like really nice. Like I had this weird like awakening. I was like, oh, this is so weird and morbid. Is it and it's really on TV, and it's for kids, and that's okay. Is it okay that I like it? You know? Yeah, of course it's okay. I thought death was like the coolest thing ever. I'm like, oh my god, he is the shit. You know? Sorry, he is the stuff. You know? I thought he was so cool, and the fact that Mandy is a terrible person, but she somewhat cares, like, but very little. She cares very little, but she cares enough, and she hangs out with Billy, who is not the smartest guy. Let's face it, he's not smart at all, but he's got a good heart, and she sees that, so she hangs out with him. And it was just a really cute dynamic, and all the characters, and it was morbid, it was crude, it had my kind of humor, and I miss it so much. Now moving on to day 12. Okay, I was really rushed for time, and I also had put down, okay, to draw the Soul Eater moon, because I love it. I saw this moon and Lord Death before I ever saw the show, and I was like, what is that? I adore the art style. That is me. Like, this speaks to me. This was the Soul Eater moon, and I love it. I love the art style so much of that show and manga. But I was told that the manga is a lot darker, so I might have to look into that. Moving on. Day 13. I was super rushed for time. I did this, I sketched it, and then I had to jump on the bus, an hour bus ride to my school so I can go to class, and then like another hour ride home, take 2 buses home. So I was really rushed for time, and I actually posted this at 11:53 at night on October 13th, like a boss. I was like, ooh, yeah, I made it, because I did not want to be late for INKtober. I'm like, I'm doing this month-long challenge. I'm doing it. So I was like super pumped that I was able to post this in time. Vigorous, I think. I can't pronounce it. Ghost Pokemon, they protect tombs from being raided. They protect it from tomb raiders and let the spirits rest, you know. So I think that's kind of a cool Pokemon idea. Next up, 14. One of my all-time favorite characters from Rick and Morty, Scary Terry. He basically is a safe knockoff of Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street, and that episode is like one of my favorites. I'm not going to give too much away. It's a good show. If you are a kid and you've never heard of Rick and Morty, again, if you don't know about it, you're too young. It's on Adult Swim. Adult Swim, aka adult like stuffs. So yeah, it's a cartoon, but it's for adults. And I go from Freddy Krueger cartoon safe knockoff to Minnie Mouse. Yeah. Okay. So I base this off of the Disney Halloween time Minnie Mouse outfit because I think it's cute, and I really hadn't done something super cute, and I drew it, and there's not really much else to say about it. Yeah, let's just keep going. I think it's cute. I think that's a cute outfit. So I'm gonna go now. Bye. Oh, look, it's Soul Eater again. Day 16. Lord Death is freaking hilarious, okay? He's a cool guy. I would love to hang out with him. So, yeah, I'm gonna move on now. Hiya! Bye-ya! You know? Day 17. The Aloha version of Meowth is super sass. I don't know, it's just sassy. I've fallen in love with that Meowth. And this new Pokemon, I also fell in love with. Teresa. Teresa, I don't know. She is so cool. Reminds me of a performer. She's got the long boots, the gloves, the outfit, the headpiece. It's perfect. Her hair is just flawless. And she is green. She's got green hair. And I love the color green. I love lime green. And I don't know, she's cool. This Pokemon. She's so cool. So I was like, yep, gotta do sassy day 17 is sassy. And I guess that kind of makes sense because when you're a 17-year-old girl or just a 17-year-old, you get a little sassy. You think you know everything. You're like, I'm almost an adult. I know the world. So you're a little sassy. You think you're the shite. So I went sassy. Day 18, and I stuck with sassy fabulousness with the Harlequin Demon from The Night Before Christmas. I just rewatched this movie, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot how much I love the Harlequin Demon. I've always thought he was fabulous. And the way he transforms this old rat into the most delightful hat. It's just so cute. I love it. I love it so much. And the poor band guy is just forced to stay and be the model for the new headpieces. Yeah, I enjoy drawing it. And it did take a lot longer than I thought it would take. It took maybe 2 hours because it was the sketching, then the line work, then the coloring, and then the overline work, you know. It took a while to do this, and honestly I could have even taken longer, but again, I had stuff to do. So as it is, I'm coloring these, and a lot of people aren't coloring theirs, so we're moving on. Day 19, a Trevorant and a Phantump. From our point of view, the Phantump is popping up going boo! And the Triumphant, I don't know how to say that, but basically his evolved form is behind him, coming to recharge you, He thinks that we're being so scared by his spookiness, but in reality, it's the tree. The giant, menacing, evolved version tree of him, behind him. A friend of mine said, oh, it's like the dad is protecting the baby, and that was my first thought when I was drawing this. Second idea was the baby is trying to be scary, or the baby's trying to be scary, and the parental figure is coming up and don't mess with my kid. What are you doing? Then day 20, I had been super depressed again, and just thinking about stuff. Around that time, it's when the pictures of the Lady Gaga Monster High doll was coming out. And I had heard about it, and I had thought, originally when Monster High came out, I was like, ooh, a good celebrity endorsement would probably be Lady Gaga. She could have her own Monster High doll because, hello, we are her monsters, her little monsters. That is what she calls her fandom. That is what we call ourselves, little monsters. And she is Mama Monster, Mother Monster. So I'm like, okay, what better way to fix a gloomy day than to draw her, So I'm really glad that exists. And I really want the Lady Gaga doll, but it's like $100 and something, so I'm not getting it. It's really ridiculously expensive, but that's because it's Lady Gaga and it's a special doll, so yeah. Moving on to day 21. I did Alexandrite from Steven Universe, and I love Alexandrite's design. I think she's wicked cool, and I was feeling angry and anxious, and I just had to get it out, so I drew Alexandrite, like screaming fire. Like sometimes you just have to get it out. And I was feeling angry and just depressed, and I just had to get out my feelings, and that's how I did it. Boom. Alexandrite. But on to day 22. Invader Zim. I have recently rewatched Invader Zims on Hulu, and the story goes like this. Zim did some research on Halloween, and while doing research on Halloween, his computer pulled up The Nightmare Before Christmas. Once he found out, he didn't even get through like the whole movie. He was just like, what? There's a Pumpkin King? I shall be the new Pumpkin King, you know? And he lives in a pumpkin patch, so I'll go to the nearest pumpkin patch and demand that he show up, and I shall challenge him for the throne, which is rightfully mine. He goes with Gurr to the pumpkin patch. He dresses up like Jack Skellington, and Gurr is like, I want to dress up too! So he dresses up like Sally, and they go to the pumpkin patch. They wait and wait and wait, and Gurr is declaring like, show yourself! I shall take over your world. Your pumpkin-y kingdom shall be mine. When no one showed up, he declared himself the new ruler, and he's like, he tells Gurr to go fetch him a crown. Gurr, go fetch a crown for the new pumpkin king. Okay. And he's like just runs into town and goes like immediately to like a Burger King restaurant. Now the reason why I say Burger King is because during Halloween time, they give out these crowns, the Burger King like skull and crossbone crowns, and they're so cool. And that's the whole reason why I thought of this. Honestly, this is the whole reason why this scenario came up. I originally was just going to draw Gurr and Zim doing something Halloween-y, and it turned into this. So going back to the story, Gurr goes in there, gets a soda and some food. What am I supposed to be doing? Oh, that's right, a crown! So he goes up to the register and he's like, do you guys sell crowns? And they're like, no, you can just ask for it. Okay! And he gets one and then goes back with his soda because he gets a refill. And Zim's like, finally! I am now the new Pumpkin King! That's basically the end of it. And we're moving on to Inktober, day 23. I recently obtained the most awesome gift, and I don't really want to bring it out. If you want to see an actual picture of it, you have to go to my Tumblr. I got this awesome gift that turns out to be a prop created by Curious Circus, who does a bunch of props for like TV shows and movies and stage productions. And I love this plant. I went to downtown. There's this like weird shop. It's like Little Shop of Horrors, basically. It's got like taxidermied stuff and like all these cute, adorable things that I want to bring home. Like there is a skeleton of a bat, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that. I want it. I need it, but it's like $800, and I'm like, shit, I don't need it that badly. Yeah, no, thank you. But I was like, oh, I really want this, and I immediately like had a soul connection with it. But I'm like, oh, I can't afford it. So I'm just going to like, I literally like patted it on the eyeball. I'm like, it's okay. I'll see you another day. A friend of the family's heard about it, how much I loved this plant, and got it for me. And it was such a huge surprise. I never thought I would see this plant again. And I'm like, oh my god, it is the best thing ever. It's in my room. It's my baby, my plant baby, and I love it so much. Every day it greets me. It's so cute. It's called a poison ivy. Get it? Get it? Ivy. So cute. Now, day 24. I've been wanting to draw Zero and Scraps together. Now, Zero is from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and Scraps is from Corpse Bride. And there's a theory that these two characters are actually the same. And Frankenweenie's also intertwined in it. I don't know, I didn't really want to draw Frankenweenie. So I just threw these two together because they're so cute and they would be best buds just like hanging around in the graveyard. If you don't know about the theory, The Night Before Christmas and Corpse Bride is connected, just look online and you'll find it. Okay. Day 25. Day 25 started this idea to combine Steven Universe and Star Wars characters together. The first thing I did was Ruby and Sapphire as Han Solo and Princess Leia, because everyone who watches Steven Universe knows that those two are made for each other. I just thought it was a perfect costume choice for them. And the "I love you, I know" is a quote from Star Wars, and I could totally see them doing it, and they would totally be into this cosplay or Halloween costume. So I was like, yep, it's perfect, done. I really think this was a cute piece. Moving on. Continuing with the Steven Universe Star Wars mix, we have Amethyst and Pearl as R2-D2 and C-3PO. And right away, I knew that was going to be these two characters, because Pearl and C-3PO are basically the same character. They're both high maintenance, they think they know it all. They're caring, and they don't understand why people act a certain way. They don't get mankind. She doesn't understand why other gems act the way they do. C-3PO doesn't understand why R2-D2 acts the way he does. And Amethyst is short, round, and loves to cause trouble and push Pearl's buttons, just like R2-D2 likes to push C-3PO's buttons. Day 27. And I think my favorite part about this is Lion, BB-8, because it makes the most adorable BB-8, because Connie hand crocheted or hand knit a BB-8 beanie for him. So Steven and Connie are Ray and Finn. It's so cute. And like, the only reason I think Connie would ever be allowed to go trick-or-treating with Steven would be if she had a chaperone. And what better chaperone than Lion, who is insured to keep the kids safe. And because Lion can like hyper beam through reality and space, she can be home at a reasonable time. They can go trick-or-treating and then be home like right away. I had to rush this one, but I think it turned out okay though. Moving on to day 28. This is my like second like original piece for Inktober, if you count me drawing my plant baby as another original piece. I just really want to draw a skull and a cat. It ended up being a Sphinx cat. I kind of added the spider last minute because the eyes on the cat were supposed to be looking down right back at the skull. It just didn't turn out that way because I made the eyes a little too big, excited, too crazy, and put a little spider there. Fun fact, you wouldn't have known that if you hadn't watched this video. Okay, moving on to day 29. 2 more days till Halloween! I thought it would be appropriate to draw the mayor announcing that there's only 2 more days till Halloween. It's fun to draw the mayor. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole reason why I did it. Kind of backfires though, because you can't really like reblog or share this after the fact. You can't really post it now like to any social media, because people like 2 more days till what? So it only works on October 29th, but I still think it's cool. Now, to day 30. Two-Face from Spirited Away offering candy. I've always wanted to do a Two-Face, but I didn't really have like a reason or like incentive, so I drew Two-Face. He's from Spirited Away, Miyazaki's Spirited Away. He's adorable. Halloween! Okay, so full disclosure, I had no idea what I was gonna draw October 31st. I had an idea of what it was gonna be, like Jack Skellington and Sally. That day was hectic because I was trying to get the front yard ready. We were getting everything ready for the night because we were originally not going to do very much for Halloween, and then last minute we're like, boom, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right. It was just an amazing holiday. It was an amazing day. Halloween, I was a part of Team Rocket. And Pokemon Go is pretty popular, and Pokemon is back in my life because of it. So what better way to celebrate Halloween and the end of Inktober, then to combine the two. November for Christmas, which is Halloween, and Pokemon Go. So I drew Jack and Sally as Pokemon Go trainers and Little Zero just like popping up. Originally I was gonna have him like dressed as Pikachu, but I'm like, that's gonna be too hard because he already has ghost ears. I mean, I could have them down and have like him with Pikachu ears on, but it would have been like too much, and I don't know if it would breed that way. I was just so happy because I'm like, oh my god, it's Halloween, my favorite time of the year. I finished Inktober. I did one every day for a full month. I sketched it, I inked it and colored it. I did it. 31 days, no matter what. In a few days, I was really close to not finishing on time. Just boom, I did it. I'm just proud. And November 1st and 2nd, I was just really humbled and very thankful that I was able to participate in Inktober and add one more tradition to my October. So I drew this I sketched it November 1st and finished it November 2nd. And it's me basically in Dia de los Muertos. And I probably wouldn't have this cheery of a Dia de los Muertos makeup, but I was feeling very humbled and thankful. So I just wanted to express the joy I was feeling because it's been a really, really rough couple of months. And this month was tainted. The first couple weeks was tainted by unpleasantry. And I was really, really depressed because of that. And oh my gosh, I'm almost gonna cry, but I'm thankful because I've gained a lot of followers on Tumblr and people are really enjoying my art. I have people asking about art, and it really helped me get my spirits back up to do this and see everyone's art and be inspired. I was just really thankful that this happened. And I also felt thankful because like my Halloween was fantastic. Like one of the best ones. And I hope, as you're listening, I hope you had a fantastic Halloween too, or are just having a fantastic day. It does make a difference. And you matter. And I know people throw that around a lot, but it's true. You do matter. And even if you only matter to a few people, you do matter. I guess it's a great way to end my sketchbook review, my 6th sketchbook review. I know most of it was Inktober, and that was the point. There wasn't really a lot going on in August and September anyway. Yeah, I think next year I'm gonna try to actually do do a true Inktober, I guess, with ink. Yeah, I just was saving it for class. Yeah, I want to thank you all. And you probably were wondering why I only did my artwork on one page, one side. And you might have noticed that part of the reason is the marker bleeds through this paper. And this is thick paper. This is much thicker than my normal sketchbook paper. This is multimedia paper, but professional grade markers bleed through unless it's marker paper. But you get like a rich color. The reason why I did one-sided was I'm going to be selling these original Inktober pieces. I haven't figured out the exact details, but I am going to be selling them fairly soon. So if you want a one-of-a-kind art piece to be yours and only yours, you'll have to keep checking out my Tumblr, and I'll post a video on here. They're gonna be $25 each. That will include shipping. I will ship it to you, and it'll be signed Be fancy schmancy for you to enjoy, and only you. And yeah, unless it'll be $25 flat unless you're overseas, and then it'll be like $5 more. Because shipping is expensive, people. I'm sorry, but it's expensive. So, I'm very excited. I already have some offers. So, all of these are up for sale. Will be up for sale very soon. For you to enjoy. Except for this one right here. This one's already claimed. Okay, hold on. Boop, 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 boop. Except for this one. This one is already claimed. This one is already claimed and going to be sent off fairly soon. The ones will be up for sale very soon, and I'm excited to tell them to you. That being said, I cherish and love every single one of you, and this was my sketchbook video. Check out my Tumblr for more. If you want to see better pictures and see exactly what I used for each of these drawings, visit my Tumblr for more. Thanks for watching. Bye!